They just don't make cannibalistic hillbilly movies the way that they used to. So, Wrong Turn, I finally got around to seeing the reboot and I've got some things to say. But before we get into that, if you could give me a subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and a like because it really helps in the algorithm to boost my videos, that would be great. So, Wrong Turn, I loved the original movie. It's one of those cult classic horror movies that I go back to every few years because I really enjoy it. I think the first movie was a really good movie, and the sequels, the ones that came after that, not so much. They were kind of really, really, really terrible. Well, the second one wasn't so bad, but the ones after that considerably got worse every single time. But the original had what you needed in a horror movie. It had tension. It had characters that you didn't know well, but you still rooted for them. You wanted them to survive and to get through the movie alive. I can't say the same thing about this particular movie. So these people, these young people that go hiking, it's kind of like if Twitter was an actual person, this is what Twitter would look like. Like, these people are just full on, always talking about politics. They were trying to get into using that as a plot device, which I really didn't like because it just feels like we're getting that way with every single movie lately, and the original didn't go in that direction. It didn't need to go in that direction. It knew what it was. It was a movie about cannibalistic hillbillies. Like, you don't really need anything more than that. Cannibalistic hillbillies is enough. We don't need to push in a social commentary, you know? Though I guess you could say, like, it sort of already had one, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole in dissecting the message behind Wrong Turn, but the point was, I felt like it was a pretty simple movie. You didn't really need to add those extra layers because this isn't a movie that you go to think deep thoughts. It's not Get Out, you know, it's a movie about cannibalistic hillbillies. So anyway, these characters, apart from them just being really unlikable, I found them to be quite stupid. Like, there's this scene where there's obviously something coming towards them when they go hiking really, really fast, and it's obviously a huge, huge object coming down the mountain. So you would think any sane, normal, logical person would run, but instead of running, this girl takes out her phone and starts filming it. And you almost want her to get squashed because she's so stupid. And I just felt like you couldn't relate to these characters or really care about them. And a good horror makes you care. I found they were obnoxious and rude to the locals. Like, they painted them all out to be these creepy, evil hillbillies even before they really did anything wrong. They sort of like assumed they were going to be racist and horrible people before they literally even spoke to them. And, you know, it set them up just to be so unlikable from the start. Even though the locals actually, at the end of the movie, so spoiler alert, the locals helped them to escape from the Foundation. So the Foundation, basically, so we have our group of young people that go hiking and they meet the Foundation, which is these 12 families. Pre-Civil War, they settled in the Appalachian. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm from Australia, but that sort of area, and they just wanted to live in isolation to preserve their ways because they could see the war was coming and they didn't want their ways to get lost. So basically these are the descendants of those families. They try to make them out to be sympathetic when they first get captured because they're like, hey, you killed our brother, so we're going to poke your eyeballs out, you know, an eye for an eye, literally. But at the end of the movie, you can see they're straight up psychos. I would say the only genuinely creepy scene in this movie, and the only scene that actually does feature cannibalism, which I felt was a little bit thrown in there just to say, hey, we have cannibalism in the movie, is a kind of a throwback to the original movie in a way, you know, just checking off the box. It didn't really feel like it needed to be in there. Basically, we see the Foundation, they aren't the one that eat each other, it's their prisoners, because they put them in this black tunnel after they burn their eyes out. So I assume they give them people to eat, and they have to survive. I would say seeing the people in that tunnel at the end of the movie was the only genuinely unsettling, creepy moment in this movie. It was just really not a scary movie at all. I really miss the element about the mutants. I feel like the mutation gives them a good reason to act the way that they do. It gives them a reason to hate the outside world and to sort of turn into a monster, because they would have been treated horribly in their life. I'm not saying that everybody who has a deformity turns into a monster, but it feels like it gives a bit more of a credible reason as to why these people act the way that they do, rather than they're just the ancestors of some backwoods people. Like, really? Anyway, the acting wasn't really great. The lead blonde actress, I'm not sure what her name is, but she was okay. There wasn't really any tension. The pacing fell off. The cinematography was okay. Like, in the original Wrong Turn movie, there's this really good scene where they're in the cabin. They're looking for help, and they go looking in this cabin, which is the cabin of the hillbillies. And it was like this amazing example of tension, and there just wasn't anything like that in the new movie. There was nothing that had you on the edge of your seat. It was all just flat. So basically, the ending, we have the girl escaping with her father, who comes to rescue her, and her boyfriend stays because I guess he has Stockholm syndrome or something by that point. I'm not really sure, but anyway, so the cult, the Foundation people, they come to find her, they track her down, and she ends up killing them all. To be honest, I feel like she was the only one who really had any character development. Like, she was the final girl, and we see at the start of the movie she's someone who has very black and white morals, and then by the end of the movie she's someone who is willing to do whatever is necessary. She's willing to kill to survive. She's become a warrior, you could say. And yeah, it was interesting to see her character develop. All in all, I would have really liked to see more background on the Foundation and just more setup for the characters in general. But it wasn't a horrible movie. Like, if you've got nothing else to watch, go see it, but definitely don't go out of your way to see it. I would give this a C-, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this. Did you think it was any good? Let me know if you've seen the original movie, if you've seen that, if you liked it. Like I said, it's one of my favorites, and I actually think I'll probably watch it tonight. So yeah, thanks guys.